Hey, my name's Andrew, and I'm a Master Primal Health Coach and Insulin IQ certified. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 eating plans that I give to my clients. So that's the strict, moderate, and liberal low carb. So you'll know exactly how to eat for steady energy, clear thinking, and better control of insulin resistance. So if you've been stuck in a cycle of cravings, afternoon crashes, or even gaining weight when you're eating clean, the real issue is usually insulin resistance. And this is when your body stops responding properly to insulin. And most men never really get clear guidance on how to eat to be able to fix that. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the 3 structured eating plans and food lists, and I'll show you how they work, who each one is for, and how to choose the right one for your goals. But don't worry, I do have the full downloadable PDFs that you'll be able to get in the link in the description. So feel free to go ahead and grab those. So the first thing that we'll talk about here is just understanding the purpose of these plans. So these plans were built to do 2 things really well, and that's to help you keep your insulin lower throughout your day. And so your body becomes more insulin sensitive. And then your body can finally start using stored fat for fuel. So if you lower insulin, it leads to steady energy, fewer cravings, and it's going to be easier to lose weight. So each plan kind of uses the same kind of core structure. So you're going to want to prioritize your protein. And so the way that you want to decide how much protein you're eating in a day is you want to think about your ideal body weight. So you want to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So if you're shooting to get to 150 pounds, whether you're gaining up to it or you're losing weight down to it, you're going to want to eat 150 grams of protein. And so you also want to eat non-starchy vegetables as desired, whole food fats, which you're just going to be adding into your meal for satiety. And then you want to make sure to really focus on hydration and electrolytes. So like drinking enough water, salting your food properly. Maybe you even need to take a supplement. Bone broth is really good to help you with hydration as well. So I'm not going to be going over what I do for bone broth. Like I do have recipes and things that I do to make my own bone broth. So if that's something you'd like, just feel free to let me know in the comments, and I can make another video for that. But a question that I usually get is like, okay, which plan do I start with? So all 3 plans are going to uh, kind of work towards the goal that we're looking to do, which is overall just lower your insulin throughout the day, right? So the difference is how aggressively you want to lower your insulin and how quickly you want to see results. So based on where you're right now, we'll kind of figure out where the best plan might be to start with. So usually I'll recommend starting with the strict low carb, and that's the plan that I'll talk about first. And so this one's going to be the 25 grams of carbs or lower. And so this is going to be your best metabolic reset, and it'll give you quicker results. So this will be if you maybe have more severe symptoms, like you have major cravings, you have massive energy crashes throughout the day, you have a lot of weight that you want to lose. Because this, like I said before, this will be the fastest metabolic reset for you. And this one would be good if like you're the type of person who wants to go all in. And I would recommend sticking with this one for at least a month. Then you can kind of revisit and whether you want to move to the different levels here, depending on kind of where you're at. So this one kind of looks like it's going to be 2 meals per day, and then you're going to have protein in each meal. So again, it's going to be the ideal body weight for your daily intake. And since this one is 2 meals, just divide that by 2 meals so you know roughly what you need to be eating for each meal. And then you're going to want to add maybe 1-2 cups of non-starchy vegetables. So things like asparagus, broccoli, mushrooms. And there's more examples in the food list. So just be sure to check that out. And you'll have a bit of things to choose from there. And then you're going to want to in healthy fats as needed. So things like avocado, butter, olive oil, even full fat sour cream would work for that. And then you want to stick to the low calorie beverages, like 0 calorie if you can. And so that's coffee, water, tea, stuff like that. And then you want to really focus on electrolytes. So whether you need to supplement, the salt that I use just because it has a better profile of electrolytes. So it has the sodium, which also it has, and then also has the magnesium and potassium. It's lower amounts, but at least it does have some in it. So I use the Baja Gold organic sea salt for that. Maybe you need to supplement. There's a bunch of hydration supplements out there. So just try to find something that doesn't have sugar. Maybe it'll have like monk fruit or some other type of sweetener that's not going to spike your insulin. And then bone broth is really good for that too. So again, if you need that recipe, let me know and I'll make another video for that. So this kind of removes the guesswork and stabilizes hunger fast. And so maybe you'll start here and then you get stable here. And then it's like, okay, well, I want a little bit more flexibility. Then you can move down to the moderate plan, which is under 50 grams of carbs per day. And so this will probably be the version that most people stick with because it gives you a bit more flexibility, but also keeps some structure there. So you know exactly what you need to do. But this might be a place to start if you only have moderate symptoms, like you're not too much overweight. You're not getting crazy cravings throughout the day. Your energy is fairly like moderate throughout the day. This might be a good place to start. And this one, it's going to look very similar to the strict one. So you'll still have the 2 meals per day, the same protein targets, the 1 or 2 cups of vegetables for the meal. And then in this one, one of the differences is you're going to be able to have the high protein snack if you need it with this one. And so there's going to be slightly more flexibility in the food choices, like a couple things being added, like berries, nuts, a little bit of dark chocolate, and then there'll be a few more vegetables to choose from. But again, you'll see that in the meal plans, and you'll see that in the food list that you can get that I'm going to be supplying to you. And again, with all of these ones, you're really going to want to focus on hydration and electrolytes because what's going to happen is when your body's adapting to burning fat as fuel instead of glucose, a lot of times people come on something called the keto flu. And so one of the best ways to kind of avoid that or decrease the symptoms of it are really keeping your hydration on point. So making sure you're drinking enough water, like I mentioned before, or getting enough electrolytes. So definitely really want to focus on that for all of these plans. And then, so this plan works like if you want to lose the fat, it's definitely going to be good for that. If you want to get better, more consistent energy throughout the day as you get fat adapted, you'll notice that you're not getting that midday crash and then burst of hunger where you want to eat something and to get more energy. You'll have more consistent energy levels throughout the day, and then you'll kind of feel it taper down towards the end of the day. Which for me, it's like I noticed a big difference when I started eating this way. So, and you'll get better mental clarity as well. You'll definitely notice that. And so, and then if you even want more flexibility, again, like when you pick one of these, it doesn't mean you're going to be sticking to this for the rest of your life. Like there'll be different seasons where you're moving through each of them. Most likely, like right now, I would say I'm on more strict. So I'm between 0 and 25 grams of carbs per day myself. So, but there's some times in my life where I switch it up and I move throughout them depending on kind of where I'm at and how I'm feeling, right? So you'll do the same. And so now we'll go over the little low carb. And so this one's going to be 100 grams of carbs or lower per day. And so this is more sustainable, especially if you're the type of person who wants a little bit more flexibility, you like more variety, stuff like that. Cause like me as a person, I can hit the strict and just stay on it and it doesn't matter. Like I could just cook a whole bunch of ground beef with some salt, and then maybe I'll have a little bit of avocado in it or something like that. But I can eat it pretty much plain. And I'm good with that, but not a lot of people are. So maybe you want a little bit more variety of what you can eat. And this is still a good plan. It's amazing for maintenance, stuff like that. And then on the other hand, like say, for example, you're eating more than like 200 grams, 300, 400 grams of carbs. Maybe it's a little too daunting to go do the 50 or the 25, right? And you're not that kind of person. So maybe this might be a place to start. And then what you can do is as your body gets adapted to the 100, then you can move to the 50 and then you can move to the 25. So it's going to be different for the individual, but at least you kind of have a framework and like a plan set out for you here to kind of jump in and start lowering that insulin for the day. So the liberal plan, what's going to look like here, what the differences are, is so it'll be between 2 and 3 meals per day. So if you're having the 3 meals per day, then you'll have slightly smaller portions of protein, obviously, because you're having more meals, so it's divided out throughout the day. And so you have the same amount of veggies and fat. So you have the 1 or 2 cups of veggies, and then per meal, and then you'll have just whatever fats as needed. So you'll be able to just kind of see what you need there with the fats, because again, it's just based on satiety. So like if you're still hungry, just add a little bit more fat in. You'll notice that's kind of getting you more satiated. So that's always a good tool to use. And then there'll be extras here that you'll notice. So like the berries, nuts, dark chocolate, that kind of stuff. I just want to use it sparingly because again, you don't want to really spike your insulin or anything like that and eat too many carbs. And you can kind of get out of the it can get away on you if you're eating these type of foods. And I know with some people, because I know with me, sometimes if I eat too many carbs, like I've got that addictive personality. So I'll just like, if I had blueberries, I wouldn't just be able to stick to eating a couple. I would just like crush a whole bag of them. So that's something that I kind of stay with. I have them in summer. I don't really eat them in winter and stuff. But I really make sure to like watch myself because I can definitely go overboard with stuff like that. And then so this plan will be really good if you want to sustain long-term results. Because just remember, like the way you're eating now is why you're looking for a different way of eating, right? So if you decide to go back to the way you're eating before, you're just going to get back into the same negative results that you've had, right? So this is going to be a lifestyle change. So um, this might be the ultimately the plan that you kind of stick with. And again, like I said, different seasons in life, you'll move through the different plans here. Um, but something to keep in mind here is like I keep stressing, it's based on how you feel. So you might be able to find your ideal level within the first 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe you start with the strict and you're like, it's not really for me. And then you want to move to the moderate or even the liberal just to see how you go with that. Then that's completely fine. Right. So I just want to recap quick what we went over. So again, the strict low carb, that's the 25 grams or lower. And so that resets hunger. And it's going to lower your insulin really quickly. The moderate, which is the 50 grams of carbs per day or lower. And so that gives you some structure with a bit more flexibility. And so that's going to be ideal for most people. Most people will end up landing on that. And then the liberal low carb, which is 100 grams of carbs or lower a day. And so that's going to maintain your results. And then it'll give you the most variety if you're the type of person who likes to have more options. So all three plans are built to support steady energy, fewer cravings, and long-term consistency for being able to eat this way. So just as a reminder, just don't forget that I do have the PDFs for the meal plans and the food lists in the link in the description. So after you sign up to get it, you will also get an invite to my Skool community. It's called the Metabolic Edge. And so I just started this community. We're going to be building it full of men doing the same thing, lowering insulin, losing weight, getting more consistent energy throughout the day. So if that's something that appeals to you, you get the link there and you can feel free to join us there. It's free. So you don't need to pay anything like that. And again, just let me know if this helped you. Leave a comment. If you want to know that bone broth recipe, I can just make a video with that. Just let me know if that's something you want to see. But other than that, I hope this was helpful and I will see you on the next one.